Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Friday, 6th of December 2024. From the history point of view, Mahaparinirvan Divas, the 10th anniversary of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, the architect of Indian Constitution, is celebrated on the 6th of December. That is today. Ambedkar was a social reformer, jurist, and economist who served as the Law and Justice Minister in the Jawaharlal Nehru's first cabinet. His followers observe Mahaparinirvaran Divas as a day to celebrate equality, freedom, democracy, and social justice. Babri Masjid demolition. The Babri Masjid in Ayodhya was demolished on the same day, 1992, 6 December, which led to the riots and loss of the life. The demolition was an attempt to overshadow Mahaparinirvan Divas and was seen as an attack on Ambedkar's teaching. The Hindu right to observe the day as Shaurya Divas, or the day of the victory. Now from the world news, including Macron vows to stay as on as our French presidency will name new prime minister within days. 7.0 magnitude of earthquake strikes California's tsunami warning issued. Prince Harry breaks silence on your speculation with Meghan says we have divorced 10 to 12 times. Brian Thompson shooting. Here is what you need to know about the killing and the suspect. Muhammad Yunus seeks help of religious leaders to scatter info about attacks on minorities in Bangladesh. Bangladesh to remove Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's image from the currency notes report. Now from the Hindu newspaper, Israel's war in Gaza putting the global order at peril. A man holds the body of a child who was killed from a shrapnel following an Israeli strike in Gaza. Nearly 400 days since the October 7, 2023 attacks on Israel that led to the Israeli bombardment of Gaza, West Bank, and Lebanon. More than 43,000 have been killed, mostly civilians, despite calls by the United Nations for action to address the humanitarian crisis. An International Court of Justice verdict on the risk of genocide being perpetrated in Palestine. And warrants issued by the International Criminal Court (ICC) against the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Hamas military leader Mohammed Deif for alleged war crimes. There seems to let up in the violence. Is Israel's war in Gaza putting the global order at peril? Navtej Sarna and Trita Parsi discussed the question in a conversation moderated by Suhasini Haider, edited experts. Trita Parsi put it simply, this is a genocide and we can see it happening live on our phones. The Lancet estimates the toll to be over 186,000 because 43,000 is only number of bodies that have been counted in hospitals. So I'm not surprised by the world's outrage in the comparison to what was felt over Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Roughly 700 children were killed in Ukraine through Russian bombardment over 2.5 years. More than 20,000 children have been killed in Gaza in about a year already. The intensity of this exceeds anything we have seen in any modern war. At ICJ hearing, India slams developed the nations for climate crisis. Latur M. Rangi at the International Court of Justice to address climate change and its consequences on behalf of India. It said developing nations were the hardest to be hit by the climate change, despite contributing the least to it. India slammed developed countries for causing the climate crisis during the landmark hearing at the International Court of Justice on Thursday, saying they exploited the global carbon budget, failed to honor climate finance promises, and are now demanding that developing countries restrict their resources use. The court is examining what legal obligations countries have to address climate change and the consequences if they fail. Making submissions on behalf of India, Latur M. Rangi, a joint secretary in the Ministry of the External Affairs, said, if the contribution to degradation is unequal, the responsibility must also be unequal. India said developing nations were the hardest hit by climate change despite contributing the least to it. The data all over the world, which are historically contributed the most, is ironically the best equipped with the technological and economic means to address this challenge, Mr. Rangriji said. Going on to the Hindustan Times newspaper, stated that India likely to play a Champions Trophy match in the United Arab Emirates, Jaisha, at the ICC headquarters. Mumbai, the next year's Champions Trophy is likely to be held in Pakistan and the United Arab Emirates after an agreement was reached informally between the India and the Pakistan Cricket Board, BCCI, and PCB. To be sure, a formal announcement on this is likely to be made following an ICC board meeting scheduled on Saturday, and things could still change. According to an ICC official, an in-principle mutual understanding between BCCI and PCB was reached that the hybrid model would be adopted for all ICC events in India and Pakistan for the next 3 years, current media rights cycle from 2024 to 2027. This would mean that Pakistan will not travel to India and play a tier of matches in Sri Lanka. And India and Sri Lanka jointly hosted the 2026 T20 World Cup. However, the modalities of the arrangements for the next year's Women's ODI World Cup to be held in India are yet to be worked out. Tsunami warning lifted for United States West Coast following 7.0 magnitude of earthquake. Strong earthquake hit Northern California. Tsunami warning issued for over 5 million. The National Weather Service cancelled its tsunami warning for the United States West Coast after a powerful earthquake shook parts of California on Thursday. At least 5.3 million people in California were under a tsunami warning after the 7.0 magnitude of earthquake trembled. The United States Geological Survey said in a yellow alert, which predicted a localized but minimal damage. The quake was felt as far south as San Francisco, where residents felt a rolling motion for several seconds. It was followed by smaller aftershocks. There were no immediate reports of major damage or injury. Sukhbir attacker, a lone wolf, says early police probe. Naren Singh Chowra, who attempted to assassinate former Deputy Chief Minister Sukhbir Badal at the Golden Temple. Attacker alone was a self-motivated. Preliminary police investigation revealed that even as Badal returned on Thursday to take up civilian duty as the part of his atonement. Naren Singh Chowra, who attempted to assassinate former Deputy Chief Minister Sukhbir Badal at the Golden Temple, acted alone when was left self-motivated. Preliminary police investigation revealed. Even as Badal returned on Thursday to take up Savedar duty as a part of his atonement. While investigators have not completely ruled out a large conspiracy, initial probes suggested Chowra, an ex-militant with over 30 terror-related cases against him, planned the assassination only after the Akal Takht pronounced its verdict on Badal regarding the Barkari sacrilege case. Now going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view. Foreigners buy $1 billion of Indian bonds on behalf of Reserve Bank of India policy easing after GDP data. Indian bond yields fall to 3 years lows since GDP data. The Reserve Bank of India's RBI's policy decision is due on Friday. Deregulation to be a big theme in upcoming economic survey (CEA). The CEA also underlined that the growth forecast of 6.5 to 7% for financial year 2025 still looks feasible, stressing that a correction in wage or structure for employees by the corporates is required to push consumption and saving growth. Chief Economic Advisor V. Anantha Nageshwaran. Domestic industry status had months-long crop shortage as quality norms kick in. Due to the inception to domestic production, India depends on the imports for 30 to 40% of its refined copper needs, a critical raw material used to manufacture electrical wires and cables. In 2023-24, it reported refined copper worth 16,500 crore from Japan. India depends on imports for 30 to 40% of its refined copper needs. Going to San Santiago, have rising lung cancers are cause for concern. Doctors call for stricter implementation of tobacco laws and measures to control the air pollution, curb incidence of lung cancer. According to the Tamil Nadu Cancer Registry Project Report 2019, Cancer Institute, 1 in 205 persons 0 to 74 years in Chennai are at risk of lung cancer. Coimbatore 6.5, Tiruvallur 6.4, and Kanchanpuram 6.1 are among the top 5 districts with the highest lung cancer incidence, a rate after Chennai and Kanyakumari. According to Tamil Nadu Cancer Registry Project Report 2019, Wasaki Cancer Institute WIA 1 in per 105 persons 0 to 74 years in Chennai are at high risk of lung cancer. Coimbatore 6.5, Tiruvallur 6.4, and Kanchanpuram 6.1 are among the top 5 districts with the highest lung cancer incidence rate after the Chennai and Kanyakumari. Every year, nearly 3,500 to 4,000 people are diagnosed with lung cancer in Tamil Nadu, with the Chennai accounting the highest cure incidence rate CIR, 1 lakh, population of 8.1, Kanyakumari not far behind with the CIR of 7.3, while the steady rise in lung cancer is worrying. With its greater concern is lung cancer in never smokers and women. Most common cancer globally was we are finding that the lung cancer has overtaken breast cancer. It is not the most common cancer in the terms of the incidence in both men and women put together. While smoking, it is the main risk factor of lung cancer. We are seeing a lot of lung cancers occurring in never smokers and women. The reason could be due to the air pollution too. Tobacco being a constituent of air pollution. Arvind Krishnamurthy, a professor and head of surgical oncology, Cancer Institute said other factors such as mutations could be also responsible for this, he added. President Murmu calls on scientists to deal with the agriculture sector challenges. President Draupadi Murmu presents Satigari during the convocation ceremony of the Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology (OUSAT) in Bhubaneswar on December 5, 2024. President Draupadi Murmu urges agriculture scientists to develop technologies to combat climate change and protect natural resources. President Draupadi Murmu on Thursday, December 5, 2024, called on agriculture scientists to develop and disseminate the technologies in a timely manner to deal with the natural disasters, adverse effects of climate change, and excessive exploitation of resources. The President made the remarks while addressing the gathering of Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology 40th convocation. She also urged the agriculture scientists to come with the ideas to protect the soil, water, and environment from the adverse impact of climate change. The US-based research organization ISRO successfully launched PSLV C-59 rocket with the European Space Agency's Proba 3 satellites. The PSLV to C-59 Proba 3 mission takes off from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota on December 5, 2024. The spacecraft has been placed in the right orbit, says ISRO chairman S. Somnath, after being rescheduled for a day due to an anomaly detected. The Indian Space Research Organization on Thursday successfully launched the European Space Agency Proba 3 mission aboard the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle PSLV C-59 rocket. The vehicle took off power precisely at 4 p.m. from the first launch pad at the Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota, the home to several rocket launchers in India. The PSLV C-59 Proba 3 mission is successfully accomplished. Once again, the spacecraft has been placed in a right orbit. ISRO chairman S. Somnath said. ISRO has said the mission has successfully achieved its launch objectively, deploying ESA's satellites into their designated orbit with precision. China influence is growing at climate talks that the United States leadership fails. Liu Xiaomin, bottom left China climate envoy, poses with the others for a group photo at the China delegation offices at the conference about G20 COP99 United Nations Climate Summit Saturday, November 23, 2024 in Baku, Azerbaijan. The biggest challenge was agreeing on who should pay, and the results say a lot about the shifting international dynamics and offer some insight into the China's role. The 2024 United Nations climate change talks ended in Baku, Azerbaijan on November 24 after the 2 weeks of agreements and signed deals involving 106 heads of the state and over 50,000 business leaders, activists, and the government representatives of almost every country. Few say the conference was a resounding success, but neither was it a failure. The central task of the conference, known as the Conference of Party 29, was to come up with the funding to help the developing countries become more resilient to the effect of climate change and tourism and to transition to more sustainable economic growth. Biggest challenge was agreeing on who should pay. And the result says a lot about the shifting international dynamics and offers some insight into the China's role. As a political science professor who has worked on a clean tech policy involving Asia, I followed the talks with interest. Now, at last, there's a famous personality whose death anniversary is on today, 6 December 1956. That is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, whose full name was Bhimrao Rao Ambedkar, born on the 14th April 1891 up to 6 December 1956, was an Indian economist, jurist, social reformer, and a political leader who chaired the committee that drafted the Constitution of India. Based on the debates of the Constituent Assembly of the India and the first draft of the Sir Bengal Narsingh Rao, Ambedkar served as the Law and Justice Minister in the first cabinet of the Jawaharlal Nehru. He later converted to Buddhism and inspired the Dalit Buddhist movement. After renouncing Hinduism in 1990, the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, was posthumously conferred on Ambedkar. The salutation, Jai Bhim, used by followers honors him. He is also reported the honorific Baba Sahib, meaning respected father. Dr. Ambedkar says a very famous quotation. He says that the duty must be performed, let the efforts be successful or not, let the work be appreciated or not. When a man's sincerity of purpose and capacity are proved, even his enemies come to respect him. Okay, thank you.